Do you like basketball? Basketball, no. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast, the only NBA podcast where one host is very rich, has a very nice microphone arm, good quality stuff.
I didn't even realize until
hands free, baby, hands free. I'm stimming this whole episode, and the audio's not gonna get fucked up at all. And the other host has a haircut, so pros and cons to either of those. I'm your host Jack, aka Jokic Joestar. With me, as always, the world famous Pablo Escobar. Pablo, how the heck are you doing today?
I'll tell you what, my haircut probably costs the same as that arm.
Hey, the economy's crazy, right?
Yeah, I get a haircut like once a year, and I go to Great Clips. It's still expensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where to go. I've never gotten a haircut in DC. I've always just gotten a haircut when I've flown home because I get a very rare haircut as well, like maybe once or twice a year. But it's getting a little long for my lengths or for my liking or whatever. So I am probably haircuts on the horizon for sure.
Well, I just right now we have breaking news onto the podcast. We have a Paul George alert. PG, this is going on a podcast hiatus.
That's so cool. Super timely when it's just like literally spoiler alert. I am recording a Project 94 like Sixers funeral video later today, and so it's just good timing that Paul George is like maybe I should just like cut the distractions out in late February when we are worse than the Nets.
He's focusing on getting his body right and making a playoff push with the Sixers. They need to stop. They need and like the latest alerts on Joel Embiid are like, well, he does need surgery, but it's going to be like a really bad surgery. So we're screwed either way.
Yeah, we're giving him the RoboCop surgery, and so he could play through everything until the playoffs. We'll get 4 playoff games out of him. He'll look terrible. Everyone will be really sad, or really mean about it, one of the two camps. And then he'll get the RoboCop surgery this offseason, and he should be, rolling heading into next year, hopefully.
And then we're killing an infant, and we're taking their meniscus. We're putting it in there. But no, his meniscuses are way bigger than...
Yeah, we got to... that's like 5 baby meniscuses at least. So, yeah. Okay. All right. So today, kind of I don't know about gimmicky video. We haven't really done one of these ever, though. We're redrafting the 2021 NBA draft, taking a look at, just how everybody from that class looks, because it's shaping up to be a pretty damn good draft class. So lately we've gotten extremely high-level play out of both Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley, as well as... Oh, shit. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
God damn it. I can't
believe it's ruining the podcast.
It's so nice outside, dude. I want the windows to be open.
Let me check the temp.
It's so nice outside. It's the nice weather alarm. It's fucking... Here, let me see. Calm. Oh, 64 and sunny. And I got to close my fucking windows to do this podcast for you. Oh, you should really be appreciative. This is insane.
63 and sunny. Second for you, only to 10 degrees and dark.
Hey. We talked about this. We talked about this on the Turd Sesh pod.
Oh.
I will never argue that February is the good representative for winter. That's never been the case, and I don't like, February. It's not like I love what's going on in February. It's just that I am equally as frustrated by, the middle of June or something, where like I walk out and I'm like, oh shit, I just like this is me darting from shade to shade, like finding the next air conditioned place for me to be in.
But it makes you feel like you're working hard.
No, it doesn't. It just makes me feel gross. It makes
I got
me feel
sweat on my brow.
And like if I hang out with other people, one of the most present things in my mind is like, damn, everybody in here has been sweaty as shit for 3 hours. Like everyone wants to go home and shower right now. So I don't feel that way in the winter as much. But again, circling back, February, it's not great. It's not ideal.
Is Turtsesh pro winter?
He's pro summer. Well, he's weird. Carson's weird because he's literally never lived in a place with winter. That's what he was telling me. He's gone from he lived in Scotland for a second when he was really young, which was super cold, I guess. But then he went from Bangkok to Phoenix to California, and so he's never really been in a cold place. Oh my God, is this fucking guy frozen? Oh my God, $400 a year.
We're on lag.
$400 a year, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, what?
I can't believe those frauds are asking for that.
This greedy fucking duck wants $400 annually for me and Pablo to go. Oh shit, we're on lag. So
they've raised the price, and it's gotten worse. It's worse than it was a year ago.
Yeah, no, when you were in your car, it seemed like we had this, or maybe we could just excuse it on the fact that you were in your car.
It would catch up way more consistently. It would speed you up. It would go right after there was a lag.
Yeah. So in recording yesterday with Carson, I did notice the speed up thing a little bit more with FM or whatever, or Riverside, whichever. So maybe that's the move, or we could do.
I looked up Record FM and I couldn't find the thing. I was like, is this industry secret?
Yeah.
What is this?
You have to be signed to Colin Cowherd sends you an email with a personal link, and then you can get in.
Colin Cowherd moved to Chicago.
It's a very Chicago name, Colin Cowherd. I could see him on the Chicago Sports Radio, baby.
God, he would be one of the blowhards here. Frickin' Adam Kaplan. No shot. God, I hate these guys. I hate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you have any other stuff you want to talk about? Anything on your mind? I mean, we could pad this first bit out a little, as much as you feel like it. This is not Wednesday episodes are fun. It's not the rigid structure that we adhere to Friday, Saturday.
Have you seen 0 Day yet on Netflix?
0 Day.
Zero Day.
No, I don't. I haven't.
Star-studded cast: Robert De Niro, Connie Britton, Fat Damon, Jesse Plemons, and he's skinny in this. Who else is in this? What's her name? I forget her name. The girl from Cloverfield. And she's got big eyes and stuff. Liz something, or
she was Ramona Flowers. What's that actress's name?
Not 10 Cloverfield Lane, the original Cloverfield.
Oh, okay. We're thinking about a different person.
Yeah, that was Mary Elizabeth Weinstein. I don't know, but look up 0 Day cast. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. The production value of the show is crazy.
Is it Lizzie Kaplan? Could that be
Lizzie Kaplan? Yes.
Okay.
The writing of the show is some of the worst I've ever seen. This show is Joe Biden fan fiction, straight up. It's absolutely nuts. No, you should watch it. I want to say.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Oh my God! Yeah.
How many episodes are there?
It's only 6, so you could binge it so quick.
Damn.
I want to talk about this show so bad.
Okay, so the synopsis on Wiki: a former president of the United States is appointed to lead an investigation into a massive 0 Day cyber attack that causes multiple disasters nationwide. Robert De Niro is the popular former president put in charge of this commission.
So he was actually, when he was president, he was the only one able to rally consistent support from both sides. He was a bipartisan hero.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, that's what it is. It's centrism is that will lead us through the most trying times in our nation's history. As we look to the past for examples, the most important moments in the history of America were often decided by somebody refusing to take a stand against either side.
You gotta watch tonight. It's so incredible. It's literally like someone, and this was made a long time ago, so it can't be. But it's like someone saw what happened to Biden being forced out, and they're like, no, no, no. Let me write a world where Joe Biden is epic and everyone is sorry. And he's right all the time.
That's such a sales pitch that De Niro would be in on. For sure. For sure. Like they got him in the room and they're like, hey, it's an opportunity. You could dunk on Trump again. And you get to be, Biden will look super cool. And it's like, Biden's a respectable man. Let's do this.
I don't know if he's good in it or not. I've seen mixed reviews.
Didn't you watch it?
Yeah, he's just kind of like one note the entire time, but I don't know if that's just the character. And I'm not gonna blame anybody for this trash script. It's like it's like if I wrote a script.
It's reverse Invincible, where it looks all the production value is incredible, and then everything everyone's saying is just like, this is the worst thing I've ever fucking heard. Whereas Invincible, they're dragging PNGs around the screen when people fly, but the voice acting's incredible.
Yeah. So everyone go check out 0 Day.
Hello everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast.
Well, we could still use the intro from the last one.
The only NBA podcast does 2 intros for one podcast, and the only NBA podcast that gets so fed up with the different recording software that they switch 10 minutes in. StreamYard, eat shit. Riverside FM, you're on thin ice. We're already frustrated. So if this is a bad performance, I want my $20 back. All right. So, yeah, everyone go check out Day 0, I guess. Do you want to just get into the redraft thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, don't sound so excited about it. How can I get the wind back in your sails for this?
It's just the world. It's lagging, and so my excitement will be lagging.
Oh, which means it should be coming like 10 seconds. Oh, nice. Okay. Hey, yeah. So, okay, 2021 NBA draft. I'm gonna timestamp this at like 108 or wait 1108. I don't remember exactly when the other one, but
right. So you pull up the regular draft order, how it actually went.
Okay. I have both.
I have an article I wrote on my own that I never published anywhere. That was my 2021 draft board, full 60. This is not going to age well.
Okay. So, at number 1 overall in the 2021 NBA draft, we have the Detroit Pistons selecting Cade Cunningham out of Oklahoma State. Who do you got at number 1 on your article?
On my big board, I had number 1 Cade Cunningham. Woo!
Nice. Okay, so you're 1 for 1 so far.
100%.
In a redraft. So do you want to just compare that to yours, or do you want to do the redraft as well?
The redraft as well. Well, we're gonna have multiple elements, and we're gonna be juggling them all. Do you know what
that's what entertainers do? You know, we're some of the best in the industry at like touching on multiple topics at the same time. So, yeah, I really like that approach. At number 1, Detroit Pistons. Do you consider taking Mobley? What do you think about everyone as players right now? I feel like that's the conversation, is Cade versus Mobley, and then the floor kind of opens up to everybody else.
I'm still gonna hold out for Cade, but I do think it's valid for anybody to pick Mobley. Because I think nobody in this class has proven to be like right now. How many years in are we? We're 4 years in to this class?
I think we're in year 4.
So like 4 years in, like Luka is like, yeah, this is the this is the guy. I don't know if I do know that we're not there yet for anybody in this class. And so I don't think Evan Mobley will be that. But I do see somebody who would say, well, Evan Mobley, I think he contributes to winning on a championship team more than Cade Cunningham would, just by virtue of being so, like, defensive player of the year level guy. And his offense has taken huge strides this year. So I think like if you put him in the same situation as Cade, they'd be worse because he's not an engine or anything like that.
But at the same time, if you put Cade onto the Cavs, not instantly better by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. I do think he I do think he would definitely be better in a better situation with less responsibility. But yeah, I don't know if you could say he'd be for sure better than Mobley or anything. So those two are fine for me. Okay. Interchangeable.
At number 1, I did write down Mobley for going to the Pistons, and I'm the reverse of you, where it's like I wouldn't mind if anyone puts Cade here, especially with how he's played over the last like several weeks. Yeah, it's fine. It's those two, and then it's the rest of the field. I feel like if neither guy is going to be the guy, the contributions I get from Mobley make a lot more sense as like a supplementary player. But at the same time, I think it's probably more likely of the two that Cade becomes, quote unquote, the guy that we talk about, like offensive engine of a championship level team. That's probably Cade is much more likely to do that. It's just that like when we talk about supplementary play around that kind of guy, I think Mobley slots in a lot more, I don't know, logically. But yeah, I don't care either way. So then Houston Rockets at number 2 overall. I had him taking Cade. In real life, they took Jalen Green. And who did you have in the article?
So my number 2 on my big board was Jalen Suggs. And so I had, so my tier 1 was just Cade. My tier 2, I said perimeter creators with pretty realistic shots at being all-star level offensive engines. And
nice.
So I wrote my blurb for Jalen Suggs. I wrote a separate Jalen Suggs article, so I just wrote a little blurb here. Jalen Suggs is an elite passer and has realistic potential to be an all-star level scoring threat. And even if you swing and miss on the upside, the floor is probably still going to be a guy who can start and contribute on a winning team. So I was higher on his offense coming around than I should have been. I wouldn't have him number 2 here, but I don't feel bad. If anyone drafted him at number 2, nobody would be disappointed.
Well, that's funny. I don't know. It's funny because you always talk about, especially in light of the Luka trade, you've been a very much results. I care process more than results, and so to me the process here is like kind of wrong, but the defense has been so good that like you still end up with a player that at like number 2 overall you could do much worse than Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, it was definitely a miss. I still liked his defense, but I didn't recognize it as for how good it was.
I mean, as a draft layman, especially back then, like I barely pay attention now, but back then it was just like Cade looks pretty good, and then everyone else. Mobley did a backflip in the sand, but I don't remember very much talk about Suggs' defense at all as like a defining characteristic of him in the draft, and so. Yeah. He will definitely pop up on my list still, but yeah, Houston Rockets number 2 overall. I haven't taken Cade. Oh, I forgot to read. I wrote some blurbs about some of these guys. So Evan Mobley's blurb was that even with Jared Allen, Dean Wade, and Isaac Okoro on the bench, with Mobley on the floor this season, Cleveland is holding opponents to an effective field goal percentage of 51.1, which sits comfortably in the 92nd percentile. So he has really become this like one-man wrecking crew defensively. Like if you throw him out there with anybody, he can get them to like a comfortable level on that end of the floor while being the kind of offensive player I feel like he's comfortably in like Chet Holmgren tier offensively. They do different things. And like Wemby, I kind of hesitate just because like the ceiling with Wemby is crazy, but if we're just going tangibly off like what Wemby looked like this year, I think Mobley and Wemby are in like similar offensive conversations. And so, yeah. But then my blurb for Cade was, we just came off a game where he had 30 points and 10 assists in the first half.
Oh, what? Mobley, hold on. Let me pull up his numbers because the shooting is still a little bit of a separator for me as far as the other two, because the other two. Oh, wait, am I lagging or no?
No, I'm just not talking.
Okay, my browser was freezing.
Shit.
The shooting I think is like a premium skill for someone like that, and so I would still put Chet and Wemby like tier above.
Okay.
But and I do also think it is fair to say like we might not even be seeing peak Evan Mobley, because if he was able to just exist solely as a 5 and you didn't have to deal with any of the and they're making it work obviously, but still like him and Jarrett Allen isn't the most natural fit offensively, and so if he were to just solely exist as the sole big man, that might make him look a lot better offensively as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, I'm fine. The shooting thing, I feel like the shooting, I'm torn because on one end or one side of the coin or whatever, there's no guarantee that Mobley ever becomes the kind of shooter that either of those guys are. But at the same time, I also don't think it's a guarantee that like Chet specifically becomes the caliber of like on ball guy that Mobley is starting to turn into, just by like virtue of the added strength and everything. His like right now to me, Chet is like a firm play finisher who we've gotten like good flashes from as a guy with the ball in his hands, whereas Mobley this year, within the context of a team that's going to push 60 wins, is like this guy who they're throwing the ball to and being like, hey, you need to be able to create so effectively that like we can run both bigs at the same time, and he's firmly delivered on that. And so I don't know if I think Wemby will become that, and Chet probably will. The hip injury, it's like put his strength conditioning on hold for a little bit, but overall that's like my counter to the shooting thing in my brain, I guess.
I was lower on Evan Mobley than consensus. I had him at number 5, and I said this might be the lowest you'll see Evan Mobley on a board.
Hey, you're stupid.
I said he could be a big-time rim protector who could switch onto the perimeter for spurts and be a really high-level vertical spacer as a lob threat, but does that really make him the next Anthony Davis, or does it make him the next Clint Capella? And that's not an insult. Clint Capella's really good. And then I posted a bunch of stats glazing Clint Capella. This past year, he averaged 15 and 14 on 60% true shooting. By 538's Raptor, he was the second most impactful defender in the league, 9th most impactful in the NBA. By EPM, top 10 defensive player when you take out the low minute guys. By, I scrolled up. By B-Ball Index, his LeBron, he was the 3rd most impactful defender in the league. By RPM, he was the 2nd most.
Nice.
99th percentile offensive rebounder. He was already on the Hawks at this point?
Yeah, the Hawks traded for him pretty quickly.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because, like, I swear
block.
the Rockets had
good.
to, like, decide between Westbrook and Capella. Wasn't that, like, the thing?
Between what? With the Rock? Oh, yeah, not like financially or anything.
You just play style.
Yeah, they were like, well, this guy can't shoot at all. So we gotta pick one of the two here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I wrote... I think Mobley can provide a lot of the same value that Capella does, but where does he separate himself? He has the potential to be a floor spacer, but I'm not super impressed by his touch, and I don't know if he's a sure thing to become a league average 3-point shooter. He can dribble, but does it lead to anything functional outside of dribble handoffs? He's extremely fluid for his size, but is that enough to make him an actual threat, attacking the basket off the dribble? He's a great passer, but he can't score right now, so it'll be harder for him to really leverage that passing into anything resembling what guys like Jokic, Cat, or Bam are doing. And so I said the offense is very theoretical at this stage outside of the rim running. And then I said I was worried about his health because all the big skinny guys have been hurt.
Yeah.
All things considered, the gamble on him developing perimeter skills is enough to keep him at 5 for me, but I'm not as confident as everyone else seems to be that those will come along.
See who's ahead of him. That's exciting.
Well, there's some really bad ones, and I said, but people much smarter than me have Mobley at 2. So if I'm wrong, maybe this is a classic case of overthinking. And if Mobley hits offensively, he will be a superstar, an ideal fit. I said, I like the Cleveland fit, and it's... Oh, wait, so maybe he was already drafted. Well, I like the Cleveland... Wait. Did they already have number 2?
The pick?
Yeah, what pick? Wait, he was the literal number 2 pick.
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. He went number. Oh wait, no, he went number 3. Jalen Green went number 2 to the Rockets.
Okay. So I don't know when I wrote this, if it was after the draft or before.
Yeah. So I don't really have beef with anything you said there. It is just funny how like everything you listed is like, hey, it could happen and it would be cool.
I was like, what's he? It's really what are you gonna do? Shoot me? then you get shot.
Oh, what? He's gonna be able to dribble and he's gonna stay healthy and he's gonna be able to leverage his passing and the touch is gonna translate. Okay, buddy, sure. And then it's like, yeah, all of it did. So yeah, Mobley and Cade top 2, for sure. I feel like 3. So at 3, Evan Mobley goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers in real life. I want to know who went 3rd overall for you.
3rd overall on my 2021 board. Wait, hold on. Let me pull it up. So at 3, well, Jalen Green was my number 3 player.
Okay.
Jalen Green has an overwhelming combination of traits and skills. If you're 6'5", can consistently hit pull-up threes, can get to the rim at will, and have a handle that accentuates all that, things are going to work out for you. He jumped straight from high school and played on a funky G League team and averaged versus pros and averaged 18, 4, and 3 on 61% true shooting. Green feels like the safest bet outside of Cade to be a really good player. There's just 2 big things he's got to improve on to take his ceiling to the next level. Number 1 was getting to the line, and I say a bunch of things about how a guy like him should be getting to the line way more. And then I said decision-making and passing. He will be able to collapse defenses as a scorer and force help. He just has to get better at capitalizing on the openings he creates. Otherwise, he won't be somebody you want with the ball all the time.
Yeah.
Right now, I think Green's ideal outcome is in a role like 2016 Kyrie Irving or current Zach LaVine, guys that are best next to a primary creator without a super heavy burden of creating for others. If Green can take leaps at getting to the line and leveraging his scoring gravity, I do think there is true superstar potential there within reach.
Yeah.
And year 4 hasn't really.
No.
So sometimes he gets to the line for a month every year.
Well, that's the thing. Everything you said, I agree with everything still. Where it's like, okay, electric athlete who can't consistently do all of the stuff that you listed and needs to improve at all of the stuff that you listed. And it's like, at this point, it really just does feel like a fundamental disagreement in approach to the game with like how I would like to see him play versus how clearly like the Rockets are having him play or he's playing or whatever. I'm not going to put that like solely on Jalen Green. It's like he's taking stupid shots. He doesn't know how to play basketball well, but like electric athlete like that, I would much rather see primarily collapse the defenses and pressure the rim and get to the free throw line and like even make like simple plays out of that, which I'm pretty sure since Van Vliet went down, his passing has been pretty dependable and everything within the Rockets system. But yeah, instead of like playing an inside out kind of game, it's been very outside in based where it's like, hey, when these 10 threes a game are hitting, I'm a guy. I'm real.
What is he at now?
On the season?
Getting a call from spam number. Yeah.
On the season, he is 36% from 3 on 8.3 attempts a game. So,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I would still firmly go a number of people ahead of him, including my number 3 in the redraft, the Cleveland Cavaliers, taking Franz Wagner, 3rd overall. 20 games without Paolo this season. He's been 26 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds on 56% true shooting. The Magic have a 13-7 record in these games. And so he was way further down. Shout out to the Bulls. Shout out to Wendell Carter and Vucevic and everybody. But yeah, he's been sick. And I think he pretty easily would have been an all-star if he was healthy when the break happened and everything.
So I'm gonna go spicy in the present. My number 3 player, I'm gonna go Trey Murphy. I'm gonna ride the hype.
That's based. That's so based. I have him a few spots down, but especially lately. You cook.
He's just like, if I think about, like, literally, if I'm, well, maybe not. So I think Franz is a better solo player. Like, if he had to be just the sole offensive engine of a team, Franz is better.
Yeah.
But Trey Murphy is just so scalable, and he's so perfect that he could fit around literally anybody. He runs around the perimeter all game. He can hit all types of threes. He could pull up from three. He's finishing super duper well. He gets so many cuts. He's like, and he's pretty good at defense, right? And
yeah. I mean, especially within, like, I mean, if he was in the fucking Magic's framework, I think he'd look a lot better.
He's got insane tools. He's really like better Michael Porter Jr., I feel like.
No, yeah, that's a good comp. Where it's like already, and he's probably like 20.
I think he's 24.
24? Yeah, so already just so much more competent attacking closeouts, where it's like Michael Porter Jr. attacking a closeout, and he's been really good this year, where they have started to turn into layups more, but for the vast majority of his career, Michael Porter Jr. attacking a closeout was either like sidestep 3 or pull up deep 2. There was never really like a foot in the paint or anything, whereas Trey Murphy...
never a pass.
Yeah, that either. Trey Murphy, last 22 games. 22 games. That's a pretty big-ass sample size. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists on 60% true shooting, while getting to the line, I believe, 5 or 6 times a game, and shooting 38% from 3 on 9 attempts.
And this is not in the best situation. Zion's back now, and Zion's playing great.
He hasn't been for all 22 of those games, I'll tell you what.
He is not. And Trey, I think, has never had a season under 60% true shooting, and a lot of these Pelicans teams have been very ugly. So he's a guy who, he may not be able to carry you, but he's a guy who could fit in, I feel like, literally anywhere and just produce. And he's a plus no matter what. So yeah, I'm very Trey Murphy pilled. But let's see, who did I have number 3 in 2021? Or no, wait, are we on 4 or 3?
We're still on 3. So
yeah, we're on 3. Okay, yeah. So I had Jalen Green at number 3.
Okay. All right. So at number 4, in real life, the Toronto Raptors selected Scotty Barnes, 4th overall. At 4th overall, I had the Toronto Raptors selecting Scotty Barnes. How does that make you feel?
That's fine. I have Franz here, so
okay,
I would go Franz over Scotty as well. But I'm not out on Scotty yet, because he's a guy who will look way better in a better.
The problem is, I don't know if the situation you're describing is going to coalesce in Toronto.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be if it's existing around R.J. Barrett and Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, you're like, well, he's going to look way better when the Ingram ankle injury, he's back. And then you have all these guys. He's going to look way better then. And it's like, is he? Is that where we're going to see him thrive? I just don't know.
He'd look good in a situation, not the one he's going to be in for the next 5 years or what. Yeah. So, yeah.
When he's 28 and he's finally out of there, oh, man, it'll be so sick.
And then him and Paolo will team up.
People have to put down both sides of the war will throw down their guns. Yes, exactly. Okay. So after Scotty Barnes at 4, Toronto Raptors took Scotty Barnes at 4, and I took Scotty Barnes at 4. Who you had Franz here?
This year I have Franz. Right now I have Franz.
Okay.
Here.
On your article, where was
in 2021 I had, and this is I would have got fired for this. I would be KOC-ified for this. And you know what's crazy though? I still don't feel bad about this at all. Sharife Cooper.
Oh my God. That was a very Bill Simmons ism that you just did. Am I really wrong about this one, guys? 'Cause Sharife Cooper, if we redo his career, he looks different.
And so, yeah, he's another guy. I only wrote a little bit here because I wrote a full thing about him. But I said synopsis is you should gamble on guys who are elite passers, elite ball handlers, have big-time burst off the dribble, and have signs of life for their jumpers, even if they're tiny. Sharife is much closer to being a Trae Young... Oh, I have hair in my mouth. Hold on.
Disgusting.
Sharife is much closer to being a Trae Young, John Morant, De'Aaron Fox level prospect than he is to being a Trey Burke, Carson Edwards, Tremont Water levels 1 in my eyes. And so...
Where did Sharife Cooper go?
He went to Atlanta. He got to play 12 minutes in the NBA, despite him putting up good numbers in the G League, and he literally improved the jumper, the one weakness. And I suppose defense was always going to be a weakness.
Yeah.
But he was never given a chance to fail. If they brought him up to the NBA and he got real minutes, and then I saw him be trash and saw the passing not translate or whatever, then be like, oh, okay, whatever. But for somebody, he truly was like a Trae Young level passing prospect at Auburn, and he was super fast. He could get to the rim, and he was getting to the line like 9 times a game or something crazy. So he had definite flaws, but it's just there are flaws that they're willing to overlook for other people. So like Peyton Pritchard. Like the Celtics were just willing to live with Peyton Pritchard, despite he is also tiny and bad defensively.
Yeah.
And I suppose he's a better off-ball shooter and stuff. But then I'm like, well, why do I want an off-ball 6'2" guard at all or whatever? And so I really do think Sharife Cooper should have got a legitimate chance. And I think he is playing in Europe now, and I think he wasn't doing that well in those games, but still.
Damn.
I don't feel bad about it. I'd only feel bad if he got to the NBA and failed. But yeah, he also the Hawks drafted him, and I'm like, oh well, God,
you don't need 2 Trae Youngs. Guys.
Yeah, I don't want to. And you guys are releasing reports all the time about how mad you are about having Trae Young. I'm like, I don't want you to go there.
This guy's not going to make you happy, people. You're going to just be pissed by the end of it. Okay, so what are we on? 5 now? 5. Okay, so in real life, the Orlando Magic take Jalen Suggs, 5th overall, out of Gonzaga. This is where I had Trey Murphy going to Orlando. And who do you have here, and who was on your list?
Oh, I should say. Wait, can you hear me? Because now no one's all right, now it's back. No one's showing up on my screen.
Okay, we're back.
I should say I'm not acknowledging the current fits right now. I'm
I haven't that's not how I'm. Yeah. That's essentially what I'm like, ranking how everyone looks, kind of.
Yeah. Because, like, at number 5, I have Şengün, but I definitely still want Suggs for the Magic rather than take Şengün.
Okay, that's fair. You don't want the Paolo Şengün pairing?
Probably not.
This is my deep 2. Get out of my way.
I have Şengün at 5. Who did you have?
Okay. I had Trey Murphy here at 5.
All right. And yeah, this is where I had Evan Mobley at 5 on my board.
Damn.
And let's see, I had Şengün way higher than consensus. What did Şengün go? Okay, I had Şengün at 7 on my board.
Oh shit! Okay, hey, that's you can hang your hat on that one. Yeah.
I cooked.
Okay.
Did he go 15 or something?
He went 16th overall. The Thunder took him, but then like draft night trades, he wound up in Houston.
All right, here's what I wrote about Şengün. There seems to be a lot of confusion in the general public about Şengün from people who don't follow these prospects closely. Şengün is just a post-up big, right? But he's only 6'9". Jahlil Okafor was bigger than that, and that didn't work. Haven't we learned our lesson by now? This isn't the 90s. What's the deal? And then I said, here's the elevator pitch. Şengün is the most productive draft prospect since Luka. He's a fantastic post scorer. He can score off face-ups. He can score off rolls. He's a fantastic passer with a great feel for the game. He's not a total non-shooter, and he's not nearly as bad defensively as people think. And then I have a bunch of compilations of him and a bunch of clips of him doing stuff. And here's, as a defender, There's a chance Şengün is a terrible defender in the NBA, but right now I think he's not nearly as bad as people think. He's got some things going for him. He has the strength to battle in the post with bigger centers. He's only 6'9", but he has a 7-foot to 7'1" wingspan, so he's not totally undersized. He had a steal rate of 2.6 and a block rate of 5.9. Both of those are really good. They were better than Draymond's in college.
Oh my god.
He did gamble at a pretty good rate, but so do a lot of players at this stage.
So does Michael Jordan, baby.
So did Michael Jordan. So I think it's fair at this stage to say he's a defensive playmaker. He especially has quick hands. And then his feel for the game can be weaponized on the defensive end. Just needs to get in better shape because right now he has to read things a few steps ahead and have perfect timing to make an impact. Body can improve, though. And then I wrote about like how overall, there's words that his post game will be totally nerfed, but I said there are guys his size who are successful post scorers. Sabonis, Julius Randle, and I think statistically this year Julius Randle was one of the most successul post scorers.
No, I believe
in this specific season. Montrezl Harrell, Kevin Love,
prime
Paul
Montrez.
Mills,
Oh
Paul
my god,
Millsap, yeah.
Paul Millsap, nice.
Yeah, 6'7", 7'2" wingspan.
Hey, hell yeah.
And then, so TLDR, there's a version of Şengün where his post-scoring translates, and he's one of the best in the NBA. If that happens, he'll demand a lot of defensive attention, and he's a good enough passer to leverage that into being an offensive star and someone you can run your offense through. If that happens, he just needs to be passable defensively to stay on the floor, and he has lots of room for improvement. And even if he's Enes Kanter defensively, that was before Freedom. So sorry for dead naming him.
Yeah, damn it.
He can still be a really good rotational big based off offensive alone, and he might be able to shoot. And if he fails, it won't feel bad because you were gambling on a super productive 18-year-old in a pro league. So I feel that was pretty good. Although the one thing, his jumper has not come around.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with most of that. I think if to hold myself to a standard, even though I'm not the biggest Şengüner in the world, you're
Shen Edger, dude.
Shen Edger, Shenjelker, I guess.
And by the way, they call him Şengün at All-Star game. I'm like, they will never. I heard Towns. He's like, Şengün's in the building.
Şengün. Well, it's just like. It's insane I don't get it where it's like I get that, you know, it's an S, but like why did it take us 40 years to figure out Jokic or Antetokounmpo or whatever?
We still have Doncic. We still have plenty of people saying Doncic. Nico Harrison said Doncic.
Oh, Nico Harrison, count your fucking days, pal.
Count your days.
I mean, just another
Why did
thing.
he go to the game last night?
Because he's a masochist. Because he's a fucking idiot loser who probably has an embarrassment fetish or something. Or he's just garnering goodwill for when he eventually fucking jumps ship from the Dallas Maverick and hops onto the Lakers as like an assistant coach or whatever. And him and Luka are just never. Every time Luka shows up to practice, Nico has to leave the building. They like build that into Luka's contract, but he still works for them. Yeah, fuck that guy. And honestly, like, if you're not going, like, it's so stupid. You know how to pronounce the names, people. And Şengün is one of those names. So, yeah, if I'm holding Scotty Barnes to this isn't canon, you know, what's happening right now isn't canon, and I would still take him here because I think he's this good, then this season from Şengün, I'll count it as less than canon as well.
Offense, not canon. Defense, yes, canon.
Extremely canon. The most canon that there's ever been. But, yes, because, I mean, everything on offense. What a fucking car crash this year, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't shoot threes at all. 49% from the field, baby. I'm the best. I'm literally baby Jokic. Baseline cutter. I don't see him. I don't see him. So yeah. All right. So that's 5. Jalen Suggs to Orlando. I took Trey Murphy. You took Mobley. Then
2021 I had Mobley. Today I had Şengün.
Here you have Şengün. Okay. At number 6. Hey, this is an interesting pick because this would seriously shake things up in terms of the state of the league right now. the Oklahoma City take Joshua
Diddly
Giddey,
mention.
number 6. Exactly. Where was I? Josh Giddey, number 6 overall to the Thunder.
All right. So today I had 2025. I have Scotty here, so this would be cool.
Okay.
Back then, at number 6 on my board, I had scrolling up. Oh, okay. I had Trey Mann.
Okay. All right. Make the case.
Trey Mann is the Kevin Porter Jr. of this class.
Okay.
And I said not in a throwing a tantrum over his locker being moved way, but in a basketball way.
It's so funny that was the criticism of KPJ back then. It's like,
this guy's really difficult.
He's got a
mad
personality
at the
problem. Man, dude.
But I said a bunch of stuff how he has natural talent. They're like kids in the remote parts of Brazil who spend their entire lives with soccer balls at their feet and develop an inherent skill level and feel for the ball that can't be replicated later on through reps. And I said he's the best ball handler in this class. He creates space off the dribble at will and has Luka-like deceleration. He's one of the best shooters in this class, 40% from 3 on 4 attempts, does it off the catch and off the dribble, shot 83% from the line, 20 of 43 on floaters. He measured in at 6'4" in shoes after a little growth spurt, and he might still be growing. He shot 61% at the rim on only 17% assisted on, and he played with very little spacing too after Keontae Johnson went out, his only other teammate who could shoot. That's the guy who had a heart attack on the court. He had a positive assist-to-turnover ratio, and he averaged 16, 6, and 4 on 58% true shooting, and he's only 20 years old. He has legit all-star potential as a scorer. He could be an overwhelming shot creator that can score on and off the ball. He's not a great playmaker now, but his shooting can warp the floor and open up easier passing lanes for him. He could be a guy that teams have to trap behind the three-point line, and even if he never develops into a high-volume scorer, he'll be a 6'4" guard that could shoot and dribble at a very high level, and that's valuable. And this is before the draft. I wrote ideal fit. It probably won't happen, but I would love to see him go to OKC to form the funkiest backcourt in the league with SGA.
And they played Giddey.
Yeah, well, so Trey Mann, here's the thing.
Here's the rub.
Not great at getting to the rim. He is an incredible ball handler, and he can decelerate, and he can create a ton of space for his jumper, but can't really translate that to getting to the rim. He's not a great athlete. He can't get to the rim and finish at a super high level, so he's very jump shot dependent. Then you've got a guy who's very jump shot dependent, who's not a good defender, not a good passer, and so the overall vision, He had to be overwhelming as a scorer. He's not, so it's an L. I like Trey Mann, but he's definitely not as good as I thought he would be.
Yeah. Where we're trending now, I do like we're looking at like funky sixth man type deal.
Yeah.
Like good maybe additional starter, and I think in that role capable because the shooting is real, and there are like games.
What is he at this year?
Well, he hasn't. He played 13 games and then he got hurt. But he was 40% from 3 on
really?
4.6 attempts a game in those. So yeah. Pretty dependable shooter. So
he's a guy who should shoot more from 3 as well. He shouldn't just be at 4 attempts.
And I think off of LaMelo, it would be interesting with him because when you catch a pass from LaMelo, the defense is so often just like completely out of whack. Like nobody is in the right position anymore because LaMelo just jumped back 40 feet before he almost shot the ball or whatever. And so I think that's like a situation where Mann could thrive. My fault. But
they have if they take Ace Bailey, I'm gonna lose my mind because it's just like
pure hoopers,
another
baby.
guy who's pretty good, but it's like none of our guys can get to the rim consistently. Yeah. We just have 5 out. Let me. Oh, I'm trying to go in. They cut me off. Here's a pass.
Drive and kick, but the drive you kick at the elbow every time. It's nice.
Yeah, the team full of Tyrese Halliburtons.
Okay, so at number 6 overall, who did you have here? Then
in 2025,
like in real life now.
Scotty.
Okay, so you had Scotty. I have the Oklahoma City Thunder taking Jalen Johnson, 6th overall here. He is one of, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players. Can you fucking hear me over this damn ambulance?
Oh, yeah, I barely hear that.
Okay, and we're also on big lag now, I'm pretty sure. So, cool.
All right, don't worry. The arm is sucking in all the ambulance noises. That I bet that's one of the features.
It's one of the features. It's got a noise sucker. So yeah, Jalen Johnson.
Oh, you got a stag on your shirt. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's a deer. It's kind of manly.
It's a stag. I think.
It's
sure
like
not
representative of like my masculinity. You know.
Oh, okay.
What do you got on your shirt?
It's woke. We were keeping Jaylen Brown off the Olympic team. We were conspiring.
Oh fuck! You were part of that. You were on. I wanted to get on that project, but they actually fired me. Right. I got like the folder. It was someone left it on the counter, and it said Jaylen Brown, no Olympics on it, and they come storming into the break room. They're like, I forgot that. Give me that. And then I got fired a few days later.
And so he thinks it's just because he's not part of our brand. That's not actually the truth. Mm-hmm. We're just afraid of him delivering his message on a global stage. We're worried about his ideas getting out there. So yeah.
They're calling him the man with the most cohesive ideas of all time.
Yeah, and so if he actually was selected to the team, we had a plan to kill him. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I'm glad it didn't come to that because he definitely doesn't deserve to die. But the horrible corporate goons over at Nike, I wouldn't put it past you. So, yep, corporate everybody wear stag shirts and not Nike shirts. That's the moral.
Whatever.
Jalen Johnson to the Thunder at 6. That's who I wrote down. Jokic, Giannis, Sabonis, Şengün, and Jalen Johnson are the only players in the league to average at least 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists so far this season. I lied a little because I had to round up Şengün's assists and Jalen Johnson's points from 18.9 and Şengün's assists from 14.8 or from 4.8. My fault. So. Yeah, very, very elite company. We're looking at like one of the best transition players in the league with Jalen Johnson, a pretty high-level wing defender, and developing into a guy who could do a lot of interesting stuff on the ball for Atlanta. The future's pretty murky with the Hawks. I don't really know what's going to happen this offseason, but I think with the Thunder, I mean, when you talk about that, maybe we could trade for Cam Johnson or whatever. Jalen Johnson would be a sick-ass fit with them.
Yeah, he'd definitely be cool. I have him at number 7 in real life in 2025. So,
right,
so not far behind. And if anyone were to have him over Scotty, and if they were to buy into Down Your Şengün and put him up there, I don't mind it. He's very good. I do have concerns about him in a playoff setting.
Yes,
but we'll see.
That's fair. Okay. At number 7, so this is where I have Alperen Şengün going at 7 overall in the redraft. You have Jalen Johnson here, and in real life, the Warriors took Jonathan Kuminga at 7th overall. Who did you have on your draft board?
This is where I had Şengün at 7.
Oh yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about the Kuminga pick at all? Did you have him further down the list in any capacity?
Yeah, let's see. Where I was not high on Kuminga. I had Jonathan Kuminga at 23. So, good call by me to be low.
You cooked.
I cooked.
Yeah.
Did I write anything? I don't think I wrote anything. I don't think I wrote more about him.
I really don't have that many strong feelings about Kuminga. It's just like this guy where it's like, hey, if the tools start to come together, we got something cooking here. And maybe I've been seeing a lot of people in the Jimmy era clamoring for Kuminga in a reduced role to maybe develop into a Andrew Wiggins type player, but so much of that is just like engagement, heart-pilled stuff that I don't know if I'm going to like hold my breath on that front.
When did Wiggins first become an actual good defender?
I swear
it
to
happen?
God, it was in Golden State. Like, I don't think he ever was in Minnesota. Maybe like for a moment, but
yeah.
so much of it seemed like attached to Draymond, kind of like being like, if I had you're a great athlete who's like super super long and strong. You could really do damage on this side of the floor.
How old was he when he first got moved to Golden State?
I want to say like 27. I could be wrong on that. Let me pull it up real quick.
Is he 27? Wait, how? So, yeah, he has to be.
So
yeah, it's crazy. I was really against that trade. I didn't think he would ever be able to turn it around.
Damn.
I thought it was too late for him then.
He got moved to Golden State when he was 24 years old. He played 12 games with them at 24 years old. And then he plays all of 2021. Then in 2022 they win the title. He's 26 years old at that point. Plays at 27, 28. Now he's 29, and he's been moved to Miami. So yeah, he was. I mean, that's so. I don't know. Just like the way we approach number 1 overall picks now. Selling at 24 when you get like good production out of it, good-ish production, like they'd gotten some empty stats pilled seasons out of him. It does feel a little surprising, but at the same time, we've seen it with like Wiseman and stuff as well. It's not unheard of.
No, he was. I remember specifically, I was very low on him because he was just like horrible offense, like mid-range chucking and stuff like that, really inefficient. Didn't really play defense, obviously not much of a passer, and he was on a massive, massive contract. And so,
the contract was terrifying back to, like,
I didn't think they'd be able to move it at all.
Yeah. And that, to be fair, when that happened, the concept of moving contracts was a lot different than it is now, where it's like the way players moved around and having that amount of salary available for if a Jimmy Butler wanted to come join your team, that was less of like an established concrete thing back then. And so that wasn't even in my mind at all. When I was just like, damn, they're going to be paying his ass a lot of money for a while.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're through number 7. We're through Jonathan Kuminga. Number 8 overall in real life, Franz Wagner goes 8 overall to the Orlando Magic. Who did you have on your draft board?
On my draft board in 2021 at number 8, I had. Hold on,
I'm holding on. Full suspense, baby.
Oh God. This is where I had Josh Giddey.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, make the case, I guess.
All right. Josh Giddey started last year as a 6'8" point guard and finished it as a 6'9" point guard, per his agent. 6'9" point guards who might still be growing are the kinds of guys I want to take chances on high in the draft, especially when they're pretty athletic and were productive in a pro league at 18. Giddey has more red flags than somebody like Sharife Cooper, but drafting him is a ceiling play.
That rocks.
Which I still believe that.
It's fair. I mean, Giddey's red flags are still here, you know?
OKC would be better off with Sharife last year.
That's so funny.
There are a lot of moving parts here. He probably has to tighten up the handle. He needs to take strides as a shooter. He has to put on weight to take advantage of his size and improve as a finisher. He has to get better at finishing and get into the line. He has to improve defensively. But at the end of the day, he's big, he's fast, and he can really pass. Because of all the moving parts, there are a lot of different pathways Giddey can take. There's the idealized version I spoke about where he can score enough to fully weaponize his passing and his size makes him a valuable defender. Mm-hmm. There's a version where he can only shoot spot-ups but puts on weight and essentially becomes a Joe Ingles type 3-and-D plus I. 3-and-D and I. And I wrote I for initiate. Wing.
Nice.
There's a version where the shot doesn't come, but the strength and finishing does. And he's an advantage playmaker at the 4 like Ben Simmons. There's a version where nothing comes along, and he's back in Australia in a few years. I'll take my chances with him, though, and I won't feel bad for gambling on a player like Josh, and then I wrote in all caps, "Go Josh!"
Oh
with
my
exclamation
God,
point.
Jesus.
How things
Pictures,
have changed.
LeBron taking pictures with Diddy courtside or whatever. Hey, my friend,
God.
in real life.
I do think the Iraq War might be a good. They have weapons of mass destruction.
Guys, we have to go in. They have. I mean, we don't want the smoking gun to be a mushroom cloud. Do you want that? I don't want that. It's pretty sad.
I'd rather invade and find out they don't have it than not invade at all. And I ideal fit anywhere that's willing to play the long game with him and has real vision. There are a lot of Memphis rumors with him now. And even though he's not a fit to play with Ja right now, I like it because they're one of the smartest teams going right now. So I was glazing Memphis years ago.
Nice.
So yeah, obviously, I acknowledged that
I would say you nailed it. When nothing comes along, he could be in Australia. It's just you didn't factor in our turtles.
This is just another. What are you gonna do? Shoot me? This is just another one, and he shot me. So, yeah. And then also he might be a pedophile. We'll see.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me and stab me? And then we don't find out if you've been stabbed or not, but. Someone comes out from behind a curtain and they're like, "Hey, this guy got stabbed," and so the media is like, "Oh."
Do you think will he ever speak about that? Like
No.
Will we ever get like a podcast like 10 years from now? Where it's like, this is what really happened. I'm Josh.
It's not like Gilbert Arenas bringing a gun into the locker room or something. It's I don't think we'll ever get a pod about that.
I think to this day he's literally said he's never said I
not going to answer questions about that.
I did not do that. I am not a pedophile. That was it, Josh. If all the facts are on your side, very easy to clear that up, but never happened.
So at number 8 overall. This is interesting. This one I didn't have on my list until I double checked a Reddit redraft and I saw this name pop up because. This person went undrafted. I have Austin Reeves at number 8 overall.
Wait a second. I have Jalen Suggs.
Suggs I have, he's still on the list. But
you're bogus.
You want Suggs over Reeves?
Yeah, you're bogus. You're a jerk for that.
Hey, You're a jerk. Whoa, I'm trying to be civil. You're whipping out bogus. No. So I do feel like here, this is like a firm drop-off where everyone up to this point, I believe, there's like a realistic path to several All-Star appearances. Şengün or Trey Murphy or Jalen Johnson, obviously Franz and Scotty and everybody. But now we're getting into players who's like, hey, they could make one or something if they get like a sick year, and I think they'll be like
a lot of injuries going on these days.
We could get, I mean, if Norm Powell can't make it, who can? But still it does feel like a bit of a drop off in terms of like the ceiling of guys that we're talking about. However, Reeves I'm comfortable putting at 8.
It's I guess it's not crazy because he is definitely a level up offensively versus Jalen Suggs, and it just goes offense defense. If you could,
it's the worst offensive. It's Hitler offense. I like watching him the other day against the Nuggets.
Suggs?
Reeves. He just like I don't know. It's one thing for like James Harden to do it, and to like score 37 a game and win the MVP, and I'm like, this is one of the best players of all time, but. To do all of that, and on the other side, we're talking about like 25-5 on good efficiency. It's just like, oh my god, at what point are the results not worth it? But I respect, like in terms of level of player, I'll still put him here.
Would you rather have him right now, if you could trade him for Suggs for the Lakers and guarantee health?
I would do it. Just because that's like a kind of defender that you don't have the opportunity to pick up that much. But Reeves I'm still comfortable putting here just because I do have a lot of faith that like if it was like him, he's the offensive engine. I don't think
would the Magic be better with him?
Probably.
Oh, maybe guys, look into this.
Yeah. Guys, go check the LeBron and the Raptor and everything, and then just copy and paste that into the comments, please. No, I think the Magic, like, Reeves would do a ton for them in terms of like making life easier on the offensive end, and they definitely lose a bit of their identity with Suggs. It feels like
he is like a tone setter for that defense.
It's like,
but he's been out.
Yeah.
What have they been with him out? I'll have to check.
I feel like they've still been solid enough. Like the defense doesn't revolve around him, but the tone setter is a very good description. Where
actually, I wonder, would a single, like, is he the biggest piece of it? Because then, if you are looking at like Reeves and Paolo and Franz as like the identity of the team, it is kind of a big shift.
Yeah,
I take it back. I wouldn't make this trade.
I wouldn't do it. No, yeah. I don't know, but they're both very close. So yeah, spoiler alert: I have Suggs one spot below at 9, and this is a place where I'm like, if you want to switch them, that's fine. So yeah, in real life, in 2021, Franz went 8th overall. Who do you have in this spot, and who is on your big board?
At 8 in 2025, I have Jalen Suggs. In 2021, I had let's see. So I originally had Scotty here, but then I panicked because I think this is right after Ben Simmons' bad series, and so I was like, oh my god, he's gonna be Ben Simmons probably. So I had Scotty at number 9, and then I moved him to 12.
Oh my god.
Who did I have at 9? Okay, I settled on Usman Garuba at 9. Oh shoot, they're playing the clip through my speaker. So
I can't hear shit.
Do you remember Usman Garuba?
Yeah. He's played with the Thunder, correct?
I think a little bit. He was drafted by the Rockets, and then he's kind of bounced around. And so essentially, this guy was hyped to be the first next Draymond Green who actually could play like Draymond Green.
Nice.
And so I wrote, Usman Garuba is just like Scotty Barnes, another very modern defensive 4 who can guard in every situation. And then I posted like him making a defensive play in literally every different situation. Let me scroll down. Bigs can't beat him on the perimeter. Guards can't either. He can dig in on drive to disrupt, blah, blah, blah. So I had a bunch of crazy defensive plays by him. Here's the culmination of him. He picks up his man full court, helps trap the point guard in the full court, recovers to stun on the drive, force the pass, closes out the shooter, blah, blah, blah. Offensively, he's definitely raw, but I think there's a more functional path for him to be a solid offensive player than guys like Scotty Barnes and Jalen Johnson. His shooting stats are almost as bad as Scotty's, and he's likely a non-shooter, but I think there's more hope for his shot just based off touch I've seen him displayed during games. I think he's a better athlete than Scotty, too, and has roll man potential that Scotty doesn't. He's really fast for his size, could get off the ground really quickly. Real Madrid really misused that part.
So did everyone else by how his career went. Damn.
I talked about how Campazzo like ignored him wide open on the roll all
That's
the time.
That's one of the best passers I've ever seen. Man, come on.
I literally wrote, I'm not totally sure what the issue is because he had guys like Facundo Campazzo and Carlos Allison totally missing him when he was open, and they're both awesome passers. Let's see.
Facundo's kind of like you ever seen that video? He's not even scanning shit fast. He's just moving his head.
Yeah.
Where it's like Facundo, he will see a pretty good pass.
He does do cool stuff a lot.
Yeah,
but he misses a lot.
His body language, he'll do like Magic Johnson level shit on like an Austin Reeves level pass, where it's like boom, and it's like, oh, that was pretty cool, but you really dressed it up there.
Yeah, and so I really put him against Scotty. As a passer, he's not Scotty, but he's really good. Blah, blah, blah. When it comes to his offense overall and untapped potential, I do think he has a more functional path to superstardom and regular stardom than Scotty does. Like maybe an 8% chance to Scotty's 5% chance. He can't handle the ball right now. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and I just do a lot of glazing. So, yeah,
okay.
This is just a straight-up miss because he got chances in the NBA, and he wasn't very good.
Yeah. This is not the Sharif Cooper of it all.
Yeah, I saw him fail, so
We're okay.
I'm giving. I don't think the Raptors are regretting that one.
Okay, and then you have who here? Suggs here?
At 9 or wait, 8 or 9?
8 at eighth overall.
8 was Suggs, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, number 9, the Sacramento Kings in 2021 selected Davion Mitchell out of Baylor. Off night. Number 9 on my list, I have Jalen Suggs.
I thought you were picking Davion Mitchell for. I was like, what?
No.
Yeah.
On my list, I have Jalen Suggs here. He averaged 19, 5, and 3 on ass efficiency in 10 games without Franz or Paolo this year. But I'm not. I do feel like there's something here offensively where he could be a guy who does some stuff. Like I don't know, his body language and the way that he moves. It's not like in line with bad offensive guards, and maybe that's just the eye test being fucking stupid because he's bad at shooting and he's not a great like finisher or whatever. But I like his offensive upside still, and the defense is just, I mean, otherworldly. Like we're getting into, I don't know. There's a number of defenders, specifically.
Wait,
one
you're
defender.
talking about Suggs?
Yes.
Okay, not off night.
Not off night. Shout out to off night. Not quite a Suggs level defender. Who do you have at 9? Who do you have at 9 in the redraft, and then you can do your big
in
board.
2025. In 2025, I have an even better defender than Jalen Suggs. I have Herb Jones.
Yep, he's my 10th, and that's what I was gonna say. It's like Herb is tough to place because I don't have the offensive upside. You don't see it there. Like when you watch Jalen Suggs, even when the efficiency's dog shit, you're like, hey, it's kind of cool. With Herb, it's always just like, hey, can we hit these threes and do some fun stuff? But truly game changing defensively, like just one of the standard for wing defenders in the NBA right now. So yeah, I'm fine with him being there.
Yeah. So I had, let's see, where did I have Herb in 2021? I had Herb at 48, and because I straight up did not believe the offense would come around. So major L there. But I had Davion Mitchell at 33. So I was right to be low on him. And then let's see, who did I have at number 10? At number 10, this is where I have Franz Wagner. So that's an L. Let's see, did I write anything about Franz Wagner?
Anti-German discrimination. You didn't write anything.
All right, Franz is one of the safest picks in this year's draft. He was listed at 6'9" this past year, but in 2019 he was 6'7", and he came out recently saying he's grown up to 6'11". So he's a guy who might still be growing. How tall is Franz right now? Is he 6'10"?
I comfortably, when you watch him, he looks 6'10". So I don't know what the measurements say, but yeah, he looks about 6'10".
He's not a big, though. He's a wing, and he moves like a wing. I could see him guarding 2 through 4 in the NBA pretty comfortably on the ball. Off the ball, he's one of the most impactful team defenders in the draft. His three-point shooting numbers aren't great, but all his indicators are positive, so I'm confident he'll be able to space the floor. Shot 71% at the rim. Great passer for a wing. He's a guy who can run some pick and roll. And then in parentheses, I said, think Kevin Huerter and Bogdan Bogdanovic for the Hawks. Teams pay a lot for these kinds of guys on the open market, and there are guys like Franz on every championship-winning team and pretty much every team that gets close. And so I said, ideal fit. I want him to slip to 12 to go to San Antonio so he could play with Devin Vassell, and they could play they could play the greatest help defense known to man together.
It's like an Easter egg moving forward where you're like, hey, they got to start laying the groundwork in San Antonio.
Yeah.
What for? I can't say.
I don't
much.
know.
I can't say too
They
much.
haven't told me. The voices haven't told me.
It's like Field of Dreams. If you build the defense, he will come, and then he just comes stomping over the fucking eastern coast.
Have you seen Attack on Titan or no?
Yeah, I've seen it.
It's like Aaron's dad. He's just being told what to do without knowing what it's going for.
Yeah, Wemby is leaning over you. He's looming scarily.
But yeah, so essentially I was like, Franz is an awesome defender. He'll be pretty good on offense. And it turned out he's better on offense. He's awesome on offense. He's pretty good on defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Franz. He's very good. Okay, so 9 I had Suggs. 10 on my redraft I have Herb Jones. Who did you have 10th on your redraft?
This is where I have Austin Reeves.
Nice.
Let's see. I think I was let me pull. Where's 2021? Okay. Let's see. Where did I have Austin Reeves? And we should point out he went undrafted because he didn't want to be a second round, or he wanted to pick his own destination. So he told everyone not to draft him. I had him at 42, and I listed him under potential rotation guards. I said shoot past dribble guard. So I think I was a little bit higher because I think a lot of people just straight up didn't have him on their boards. But still, second round pick, it was a miss. And so in potential rotation guards, I had him with Bones Highland, Deuce McBride, Davion Mitchell, Quentin Grimes, and Ayo Dosunmu.
Okay, all right. That's nice. That's nice. Okay. At 10 in real life, this is where we're getting into some funkier. Zaire Williams to the Pelicans.
Oh, yeah. I had him at 15.
Okay. Well, who'd you have at 10 on your board?
Right now, right now I have Austin Reeves.
Mm-hmm. But on like your 2021 draft board, who did you have
yes. Let's see. At 10 in 2021, we had Franz Wagner was 10.
Oh, okay. Shit. God damn. So people listening are like, he already said that.
Who was 11 for me? Isaiah Jackson. Oh, I was super duper high on Isaiah Jackson.
Damn. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so 11 in real life, we get James Bouknight going to the Charlotte Hornets. At number 11 on my list, this is where the Cum Bucket slots in for a redraft.
Oh, really?
11th overall, I'll take Jonathan Kuminga. And who do you have in your redraft, and who was on your big board here?
So today I have Santi Aldama.
That is a good name. He's coming up for me.
Yeah. At 11 I have Santi Aldama. Back then I had Isaiah Jackson at 11. I was basically like, Isaiah Jackson's basically as good as Evan Mobley. And I was like, he's better defensively. Isaiah Jackson.
I don't want to even make you guys mad. I could put him higher for sure.
Isaiah Jackson is really, really underrated in general mocks. I have Evan Mobley a tier above him, but I really don't think there's too much of a gap between them. Jackson.
It's so funny to post this nowhere and to still not even send the Isaiah Jackson thing all the way.
Isaiah Jackson is also a center that swats everything at the rim and can switch on to smaller players, and he's got big-time lob threat potential. He's also flashed big-time potential attacking off face-ups. He's much more explosive off the dribble than Mobley. The only real separator between them for me is the passing. Mobley is already really good. Jackson is going to have to take some strides and will probably stall a decent amount of possessions along the way. Overall, though, Isaiah's an awesome prospect, and then I have a bunch of propaganda.
That's such a classic. I don't know. When you talk about basketball enough, someone asks you about a player in a vacuum, but in your mind you've argued that player versus another player so much that like you can't talk about Isaiah Jackson without being like, well, here's the Mobley versus Jackson case, and then like going, that's how you contextualize them. And so, yeah, that rocks. All right, yeah. So, who did you have at 11 in the redraft? Santi Aldama. God damn, I'm so dumb, dude. Okay. At 12. We can keep it pushing then. Josh Primo to the Spurs in 2021.
Oh, brother.
At 12 for me, this is where I have Jalen Green slotting in. Who do you have at 12 on your big board? Who do you have at 12 in 2025?
I had Josh Primo at 30 back then, and this is where I had Scotty. This is where I settled on Scotty. I said, and again, this is funny. I'm writing to only myself. I'm not going to post this anywhere. And so I said, guess what, guys? I missed the boat on Patrick Williams last year. It's only been a year, but I'm pretty sure I had him too low. He was the late rising draft darling last year, and it seems Scotty Barnes is following in his footsteps. They're pretty similar players, too, both drafted for their bodies and the hope that their budding skill level can become more. But guess what? I'm still going to be lower on Scotty than everyone else, and we'll see if he puts the nail in the coffin for how I evaluate guys like this. He's an awesome defender. He'll be a legitimate 1-5 defender in a lot of situations, 1-4 in every situation. He's one of the most talented passers in this class. He's 6'8" with a 7'3" wingspan. His absolute ceiling is as high as anybody's in this class. He's kind of like Cade. The difference is he can't score on his own, so his passing is totally nerfed in the half court. He's more comparable. I talked about how he played at Montverde just like Cade. I said he's more comparable to another Montverde alum, Ben Simmons. They're both advantage playmakers who can score and playmake, but only in advantageous situations, only in transition or when they get a 4-3 advantage. And then I talk a lot about those types of guys. The Sixers don't have the right construction for Ben Simmons because they don't have great guards and because Joel Embiid is at his best near the rim. So in the half court, Simmons is relegated to the dunker spot. And yeah, I said Scotty has two things going for him that Ben doesn't. He's more assertive. And he's much longer with both his legs and arms, so maybe he'll be able to weaponize that to put pressure on the rim. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I had on Scotty.
Okay, all right. So at 13.
So 12 we just said?
Yeah. 12. So after your Aldama pick, who's 12?
12 today is where I put Jalen Green.
Okay, all right. That's fine. Because, I still feel
Which Rockets fans, if you're offended by that, I get it. Because it's good Jalen Green is way higher.
Yeah.
If I could separate good Jalen Green.
Honestly, if good Jalen Green was there, 30% more. It doesn't need to be full-time. Yeah. It just can't be 2 months out of the year. Like, it needs to be a little bit more. But I get it. When he's good, it's so sick. Okay, so at 13 for me, well, in real life, it's Chris Duarte to the Indiana Pacers. And
Great rookie year.
Did he end up in Sacramento?
Yes. Yeah. And now he's on the Bulls, or did we cut him?
I might have cut him. I don't remember. But he was definitely involved from Sacramento in the DeRozan trade. Great rookie year, though. Like you said, I don't know where he finished. Let me click real quick.
Was he part of the Halliburton trade? I think so.
Yeah, that would make sense. He didn't even finish Rookie of the Year at all. There was damn. But so his rookie season, he was 13 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists on 37% from 3, shooting 5 a game. True shooting percentage, let me find this shit real quick. 54% true shooting. So, but
and he was like 24 years old, I think.
Yes, older guard. So yeah. For me here, this is where I put Santi Aldama. Is 13th in the redraft, just because I do still see the vision for like big swings on Kuminga and Jalen Green, whereas with Aldama, we're pretty firmly in like high-end role player territory, but
yeah,
I do think he is one of the best role players in the league. Like I love him. I think the way that Memphis has like altered their team approach would not function if he was not such a good, unique guy. And he, similar to I felt this way about Naz Reid for a while. In my mind, Naz Reid was always like an older guy. Like he just popped up in my mind as like he's already like 25 or something, and that was obviously not the case. But Aldama's the same way. He's only 24 years old, so he's there's room to grow here still. Like he could turn into a very interesting again, high-end role player, but maybe like 7-foot Joe Ingles or something. I don't know.
Oh, and he's part of this draft class. Oh wait, yeah, duh.
What the
why
fuck?
am I thinking?
What
Why
do you-
I'm thinking we're just talking about the Grizzlies, and I was like, wait, this connects
Yeah,
to
wait,
our
no,
current
this circles
topic.
that. I had Aldama on my list.
So I had him at 52
Mm-hmm.
L, and I listed him under a category of 4 or 5 gambles, as in someone who could play the 4 or 5. I wrote very productive in a lower college league, 21, 10, and 3 on 59% true shooting. Comfortable shooter at 6'11", and that was it. I had him in a category with Kai Jones, Isaiah Todd, and Sandro Mamukelishvili.
Who was your 13 on your big board?
13, I had James Bouknight.
Oh,
so
okay.
rest in peace, James Bouknight. James Bouknight's elite skill is his finishing, and that's arguably the best elite skill you could have. He is 6'5" with a 6'8" wingspan. He's got a strong frame. He's pretty powerful, explosive athlete that can pressure the rim consistently and finish through or around people when he's there. He averaged 18 points a game and shot 66% at the rim on only 29% assisted shots. And he had a really tough diet of shots during his time at UConn. He shot 29% from 3 on the year, but it's almost certainly because of shot selection more than anything. And that reflects on both Bouknight and the team itself. Defensively, he's up and down, but he's got the tools to be good. What holds Bouknight back more than anything is his decision-making. He's a gunner who can play pretty recklessly with the ball, taking really tough shots and missing open reads. Where he'll be at his best is as a secondary creator who's not tasked with big creation burden. Still, though, consistent rim pressure is something every team wants. It leads to layups, free throws, and collapsed defenses. He's the best consolation prize in this draft for anybody who really wanted Jalen Green. And ideal fit, Bouknight is somebody who would be much better served going to a good team than a bad team. A bad team would probably just give him the green light to do whatever, and I think that could just lead to a lot of losing, bad offense, bad habits,
So, like,
inefficient
not the
scoring.
Hornets.
Yeah, a team like Indiana could be good for him with a history of rigid structure and Rick Carlisle coming in, and guys like Brogdon and Sabonis who would supersede him in the offense.
Nice. What a time capsule. The Brogdon
Yeah.
Sabonis Pacers.
He's a little bit redundant, though, with Warren and Karis LeVert already on the team. So it depends how they view those guys. And you know what I wrote, though? Charlotte could be cool for him, where they have a strong culture and LaMelo will keep the offense flowing. Golden State could be interesting with Bouknight attacking scramble defenses consistently. I think he's got the confidence to contribute in the playoffs in year 1. So I don't know what was going on. It must be Steve Clifford. They were like hard-nosed that year. I don't know. And I guess they had Gordon Hayward and whatever. But yeah, he basically like he had one really interesting skill, but it's a very valuable skill, and so I was like, a lot of red flags, but just pulled the trigger on this guy here. And then they did, and he got DUIs, and he wasn't good.
It's not good. Okay, let's wrap up these last 2, and then we can do some honorable mentions as well. So 14. Right.
Oh, and at 13 today.
Oh yeah, who do you have?
I have Deuce McBride. Woo!
Hey, nice. Okay, all right.
I think I was very high on him as well.
Yeah. So at 14. I have, so at 14, the Warriors take Moses Moody in 2021. At my 14th slot, I have Aaron Wiggins, saved basketball. Who do you have at your 14, and who is on your 14 big board?
14, I have Aaron Wiggins also, who saved basketball. And yeah, I wasn't that high on Deuce McBride. I had him at 32. What did he go?
Oh fuck, he was interesting. I think he went 36. Yeah, so him and Herb Jones back-to-back picks.
Okay, I had Jaden Springer here. Woo. So
is it really a miss? Is it really a miss?
Yeah. 6'4" combo guard, one of the best perimeter defenders in this class. Super strong, helps him on defense and as a finisher. Powerful 2-foot leaper. Capable passer, but not a point guard right now. Shot really well on low volume. Shot looks good, I wrote. Won't be 19 until September. Not a ton of finesse or creativity to his game as a scorer or passer right now, but can that be built? Took a lot of mid-range jumpers in college. Won't be a shot he lives off at the NBA level. And that was it.
Okay. All right. Then at 15, the Washington Wizards select Corey Kispert in 2021. At my 15th, I had... What do I have here? Oh, I wrote down Cam Thomas here. I'm not out on Cam Thomas. If Jalen Green gets a nod, I'll throw Cam Thomas 15. But yeah. Just without the electric athleticism of Jalen Green, whereas with Green, it feels like if I could hypnotize him, we could maybe start cooking immediately. With Cam Thomas, it's just a lot more like craftiness that you kind of, and like it's not craftiness in the Reeves sense where like we're crafting some of the most efficient looks in basketball. It's crafty in the I'm craftily creating this very difficult mid-range, and it goes in sometimes even though I shot it with my feet turned in the opposite direction or something. But yeah, the free throw rate is the one thing that you look to and you're like, hey, there's something you could build here if we're consistently getting to the line with these looks. The passing is a concern, though, so I wouldn't mind if you didn't have them. Who do you have at 15 on the big board? Who do you have at 15 now?
15 today, 2025, I have Moses Moody. I'm going full role player pilled mode. If I die, it's not suicide. It's the Brooklyn
Brooklyn Mobbyists.
They got to me. Yeah. So at 15 back then, 2021, I had Zaire Williams. Really big fluid wing at almost 6'10 shoes with a 6'10 wingspan. Didn't do anything well at the college level consistently, but had high school pedigree as a shot creator, shooter, and defender. Had a pretty hellish year that probably exacerbated his basketball struggles. He lost 2 uncles in the past year and had to miss games quarantining after attending their funerals. Stanford was closed in the summer, so he had no preseason training camp. Then Santa Clara County banned all gatherings in the fall, so until February 1st, the Stanford team was staying in hotels and didn't have any access to their training resources, parentheses, practice courts and weight room, and were training on a makeshift tennis court. Williams also played with a knee brace on after hurting himself in a bicycling accident. And then I finished with basically the next Cam Reddish. Take that
Nice.
as you will.
Oh, God. What a mean comp.
That's crazy. I didn't remember any of that.
Yeah. Okay. And at 15, you had Moses Moody?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So the only honorable mentions, I have 4 here. We've talked about 2 of them. I had Ayo Dosunmu, Deuce McBride, Trey Mann, and Quentin Grimes as names I thought about once you got to the end. But yeah, do you have any names that you'd like to shout out before we wrap this up?
Shout out Sam Hauser, good shooter.
Oh.
Shout out Jose Alvarado. Shout out Jay Huff. Shout out Justin Champagny. Shout out Corey Kispert. Shout out Delano Banton. And
DB Hooper. Yeah.
Good draft class.
Corey Kispert, I've been to my girlfriend, I feel bad because every deadline for like 2 years now, I've been like, Kispert's getting moved. There's just, it's just a player they don't need.
Write it down. Tell everyone at work he's gone.
Fucking stamp it. Put your legacy on it. Kispert's gone. And then we make it through the deadline, and it's like, hey, we need this guy. He's a culture setter. And so,
it was a weird pick at the time because, what Wizards team was he walking into?
Like the end of the Beal Porzingis Kuzma moment. So it's like the Bulls drafting Dalton Connect with like Levine and DeRozan and everybody.
Yeah, he was a great shooter, but really old.
Yeah, and he's turned into a player that like a lot of good teams wouldn't like. I do think he's underrated defensively, and he could shoot and everything. It's just it didn't make sense then. It doesn't make sense now. So yeah. Okay, cool. I'm cool wrapping it up here then. Hour 20 on a Wednesday. Do you have any final thoughts for the people?
Plus our 10-minute intro.
Got the club going up.
Guys, go watch 0 Day so we can have a full spoiler discussion.
Oh, also, if you subscribe to the Patreon, do it on your computer. I need to remember to say that on Friday as well.
Don't do it on iOS. They upcharge you. That's why we're getting so many $7.50 memberships, because iOS, I guess, adds a fee or something like that. I don't think we're making more money off those. If we were making more money, I'd keep quiet.
Yeah. So
don't give Tim Cook, that bastard, more of your money.
Yeah, no, piece of shit. All right, Pau Gasol, take it away.
Lay down a list of what is wrong.